This is TWiT.
I feel bad for Volkswagen. This is a roadshow story. Volkswagen did their April Fool's joke just a little bit early, announcing that Volkswagen America was going to be rebranded as Volt, V-O-L-T, Volkswagen America. Apparently the SEC is now investigating. Come on. On what grounds?
This was bad. Basically that... well, of course, that there was an impact to the stock price based on this release, and so therefore the company valuation went up based on fake news. Yeah. The reason that I think you should not feel bad for Volkswagen is because they really sold this. You know, I've been covering tech journalism for a long time now. I've survived many an April Fool's Day. I've never seen a company do what Volkswagen did.
It was not a joke.
To make this seem believable.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time in the history of my doing tech and automotive journalism, if I ever had a doubt that a story was real or not, I would get on the phone with a representative and say, "Hey, seriously?" And they'd say, "You know, of course not. It's April Fool's. This is a joke." On the record, off the record, we were told up and down, this is absolutely legit. And the way that they structured and timed the releases to go out, this release accidentally leaked, quote unquote leaked, the same time as another embargoed press release that was supposed to go out. They did everything to perfection to make this look like an actual story. And then swore up and down that it was true. So we bought it. I feel terrible that we did. We reported on this as fact, as did most other major journalistic outlets in the world. And yeah, there was a tangible increase in the valuation of Volkswagen for the day that actually persisted long after the reports came out that this was indeed fake. So that's why the SEC is involved. I'm very curious to see what the reaction is going to be to this because I'm frankly, you can probably tell, I'm still pretty mad about the way that this shook down.
You were burned, man.
Yeah, exactly. We were burned, and that's the first time that I've ever been burned like this, and I hope that it never happens again.
Wow. I didn't realize that they went on the record with reporters saying it's not a joke. I know that they put that in the press release, but that's not right. That breaks your relationship. And Volkswagen has some problems already.
You know? Yeah, I mean... The idea that Volkswagen lying to people about taking electrification very seriously and taking emissions very seriously, who thought that was going to be a funny thing that we would all be laughing about? The whole point of April Fool's Day is, hey, this is cute, this is fun, this is entertaining. You're Volkswagen, who's still really walking around with a black eye thanks to Dieselgate and everything else around there, is now joking about taking emissions cutting very seriously. I don't know what they thought was going to come from this, but certainly a lot of negative is coming for it, and I hope that more continues to.
We all know
what's so frustrating is a lot of the technology that Porsche is doing with the Taycan is going to filter through Audi and Volkswagen, which is part of the same auto group. They have a really promising future ahead of them here, and it's not just like the stock risk that they're doing. It's so counterproductive to burn relationships with people like you, because I bet when that technology does filter down, Tim, you're not going to be taking that phone call as fast as maybe you were a year ago.
And that week I was literally working on a review of the ID4, which is Volkswagen's new EV in the US, which is a fantastic car. So, I had to put all that baggage in the back seat literally and swallow my pride to say this is a really, really good car that Volkswagen has produced here. This is an excellent EV. If you're looking for a first EV, this is a really great choice. But, meanwhile, I'm feeling incredibly, upset at the company for their handling of this whole shebang. So, yeah, it made things very, very complicated, and it still is to some degree.
I really think we have to call time on April Fool's news stories.
Yes,
unless they are,
Seconded.
they should be ludicrous,
so ridiculous they couldn't possibly be true.
Yeah, and they can only come out on April 1st.
Yes.
Yeah. We've seen some great products announced on April 1st, like Gmail, wasn't it? Everyone thought that was an April Fool's because a gigabyte of free email storage or something. But yeah, but they should be ludicrous, and we should praise who did the most ludicrous, over the top thing for something that actually could be real. Maybe at this time, it's just not appropriate anymore. It just, the damage can be too great.
Google put a hiatus on April Fool's. It was famous for its April Fool's for years, both last year and this year. Let's make that a permanent thing, Google.
Yeah,
you know what?
They did Pigeon Rank. It was ludicrous.
It was funny. It was obviously not true. Or the toilet internet. Or obviously not true. But really, it's us. It's tech journalists who get burned the most by this, because you can't open the paper on you can't look at Tech Meme on April 1st because you just don't know what's going to be real and what's not. And sometimes they're so subtle.
We get emails, at Bloomberg, and I'm sure at CNET and other places too. Like, we get emails going out from our bureau chief saying it's April 1st. Be extra vigilant.
Be afraid.
I send those emails.
And in a day and age where you see people on Facebook and Twitter resharing Onion articles as real, there's a real hazard.